Jenna, you know that sound on Instagram? I don't even know what it's from, but where it's like, oh, how I love being a woman.
Yeah.
That's how I feel today.
Honestly,
we're celebrating
yeah.
women and girls in sports, and we had such a fabulous guest on today, Nina Goodhue, who is the Associate Athletic Director of Fan Experience and Marketing. She was just so much fun, and I'm just so like pumped about everything she said.
I'm sad we couldn't talk longer.
I know.
If I'm being honest.
Me
like
too.
I wanted another like hour with her because I mean you and I obviously can gab and Nina can gab too in the best way. But no, it was so interesting to hear her understanding of like she's still really young in the sense of like what she does, and to be a part of DePaul, working on the marketing side, working on the fan side, making sure that the fans are having the best experience, and honestly like kind of putting them first, which I think some people forget about sometimes.
Yeah.
But
you think about your budget or what you have to do based on what the administration is saying.
Yeah. But
They
I feel
want
like
it to be fun and engaging.
correct. Yeah. And I think, you know, DePaul's got some good momentum right now, which you kind of just have to keep building off of that. And I feel like that's what they're doing, and they're doing a really great job of it.
And I feel like she is very similar to you, where you with content, her with fan experience and marketing, are drawing parallels and trying to connect to whatever's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Like whether it be political or pop culture or music or art, just trying to find ways to connect and like kind of thinking one step ahead, which I think you guys are really good at. Like often with my job and like news and sports, like we're almost like reacting to what just happened, and you guys are trying to pick up on a trend and work through that and make it like engaging for not only people online but for people in person at fan events and sporting events.
Yeah, and I really do believe, and you know this about me, like with kind of everything I do, I talk about this later in the episode, like if you can find that like sports pop culture crossover moment, you win.
Yeah.
I just think you win in everything in life, and we're seeing this right now with the heated rivalry is a really big one. I think what I love about pop culture so much is like pop culture drives conversations in a lot of ways. And I think I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but I promise I'm going to like steer the ship back. But it all ties together in sports, because to me, sports is the one thing that like brings all of us together.
Yeah.
Like no matter what our differences are, like if we all love DePaul, we all love each other at the end of the day, because we all love this team, you know?
Put it on the wall.
Put it on the wall.
That's our new slogan.
I literally texted Kelly during this and was like, wow, like I really do love this school. Like we are awesome and on top. And when she was talking about like the different promotionals that DePaul does and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it is like very comparable, if not like as good or better than like a Bulls game. Like it is on that level. And like, I don't know, I have so many friends that go to like Big Ten schools, and I'll go to their games, and it's like, it's cool because it's like, okay, it's Michigan or, you know, whatever.
Right.
But like you can tell so much like care is being put in to these. And like as someone who literally spent as much time at home or at Wintrust Arena as I did at home last year, like I like being there and just like that environment, like it is like a very good, you know,
And you guys as student
environment.
employees, like you not only like are working, but you want to be there, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to get that experience.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about, I think, what people like Nina and the staff here are doing at DePaul. And it makes a difference. And I just think like, and also I think Sonia, like seeing her, you know, she's not old, like she's young doing this. And so you can see a trajectory for yourself or for anyone that wants to do anything similar. And I just think that's like a real life example of what it means to be a woman and girl in sports. Like, I just think she is fun. You guys are going to love the conversation with her. She is inspiring. She started off working with the men's team.
Yeah, which
You know?
that was like, I was stalking her and I was like, wait, that's crazy. Because now, like, no tea, no shade, it is all just guys working for the men's team, and it is mostly women working for the women's team. And I just thought that's how it always was and had to be. And so I think I don't know, I think it just says a lot about her that, like, she didn't see any, like, okay, I want to work. That's the thing. It's like, sometimes being a woman in sports is hard, because it's like, okay, I want to work for and like promote whatever is exciting right now. And sometimes it often is women's sports, but it also is men's sports too. And it's like, that shouldn't take away because I'm a woman or like feel awkward, but sometimes it does. And it's just like, no, we're all, who wouldn't want to play, you know?
Right.
Like, we're all just supporting what is exciting.
Yeah,
to us.
the way she gets everybody involved is really cool, and the way she didn't see her journey in sports as like a hurdle she had to overcome as a woman, she just like dove right in. And was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
And I can relate to that too. It's like follow the joy, and I think she just followed the things that brought her a lot of joy. And I think there's many things people are going to take away from this conversation. And if you are a woman who wants to get into this industry, or you have a daughter or a sister who like loves sports, I think it's really important to listen to this episode and know that like there are so many pathways that you can still be around and be involved in athletics. Maybe you're not, playing hoops anymore. Like for me, I'm not, playing volleyball anymore, but like you can still be around that game and have that like team-like energy. And I think that's why, again, it's one of the reasons why people love sports so much.
Yeah. You just feel like you're part of something bigger than you. I love it. Well, without further ado, here's our conversation with Nina Goodhue. Welcome in, everyone, to the Blue Demon Room podcast. I'm your host, Casey Standahar. My co-host, Jenna Duddleston's here. And Nina Goodhue is here with us, our friend Nina, the Associate Athletic Director of Marketing and Fan Experience. Nina, I know you weren't sure where to look. We have a lot of cameras in the studio. It's overwhelming.
Thank you.
Any of them are fine.
Yes.
I was looking at that one. Either way.
Fabulous.
We're so excited to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's officially our Women in Sports episode. Celebrating National Women and Girls in Sports Day. All three of us here, including a lot of our team, are women and girls in sports, which we love. And we just want to learn more about your journey to get to where you are here at DePaul and what you love about sports. So we'll just, have an open forum.
We'll have some fun.
Yeah.
But I think it's important, like people know a little bit about Casey and I, but I think it's tell us a little bit about, I know that's like such a loaded question, like tell me a little bit about yourself. But like, I guess what was like that first time that you fell in love with sports as like a little girl? Like, was there a moment or were there like little, bricks build up? What was that like?
Yeah, I think the first thing that like comes to mind, I grew up in Vermont, so I'm a big New England sports fan. And I think one of the like earliest memories I have about growing up and remembering sports is like watching the Red Sox on TV with my family. And specifically like my job growing up, like my chore growing up was to match the socks. And I would always do that watching the Red Sox. Like, I don't know why that goes in my brain. But we would fall asleep. We wouldn't stay up late enough to watch the game. And so we would wake up and my dad would have left sticky notes on the like on our mirrors in our bathrooms telling us like the score of the Red Sox game. And so like, that's just like something very small that I remember growing up. And I remember I was young when the Red Sox won in 2004 was like so special to my dad. But waking up to like that sticky note on the mirror was like the Red Sox won the World Series was like probably one of my like core memories as a child growing up with sports. And so, just like instilled an early love in sports and everything for me. So, but
that's such a fun way to like be immersed in sports.
Yeah.
I feel like many of us are sports fans because of our dads.
Yeah.
I know I am, and my brother. So for me, I can totally kind of relate to that. But the Post-it note thing I think is really cute.
Very different probably now. Of like, like I wake up, I turn over, I check a score of a game.
Sure.
But yeah, very, very analog of like having to wake up and brushing the teeth in the morning and getting the Post-it update from my dad. Yeah.
So what brought you to Chicago? Was it this job? And kind of did you see yourself in college athletics?
Great question. So growing up in Vermont, wanted to go to school in a big city, and that was a big factor for me. I applied to schools like DC, New York, Boston, Chicago. That was it. Really just wanted big city life. Growing up in a super small town, was just drawn to more, and I wanted to be able to do things and have stuff going on all the time. And so I applied to DePaul. It was the only school I applied to in Chicago. Thankfully got in. Shout out to the admissions team. So got in, came to DePaul. I've been here 10 years now, probably since my freshman year. So it's been home for a while. But yeah.
So when you were here, describe yourself as a student. Like, were you involved in the sports athletic? Were you more in the marketing side? Like, how did these kind of worlds blend together?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a men's basketball team manager when I was in college, which was a really, really unique experience. I was involved in way too much. I also think I was like overextending myself and probably didn't.
Are you the eldest daughter?
I'm not, which is, I'm the youngest.
She gives off oldest
You
daughter.
do give off oldest daughter energy.
I get that
yes.
a lot. I get that a lot. Shout out to my sister, Molly. She's older.
Hi, Molly.
Shout out. Yeah, she will not listen to this. That's okay. So I was involved in sorority life here and was involved in Panhellenic and did a lot and had a million jobs. But definitely like the core of who I was being a men's basketball manager here. Started at the end of my freshman year, so really sophomore, junior, senior year. Did that, worked one season out at Allstate Arena, huge shout out, and then opened up Wintrust our last 2 years here that I was on the team and worked with the team. But yeah, being a manager was like really kind of a core of who I was in college, and a lot of my time and energy, and it kind of went into that and being here and being around this, but had no idea about the job that I do now when I was in college.
Yeah.
Didn't really kind of clock that was happening, was very team focused.
I feel like at the college level, everything is changing and it's all hands on deck all the time. And I've seen you at the Billy Awards and kind of how you manage everything and how your head's in like 20 different places at once. Would you say that like all sports jobs can be like that? And how do you thrive in those types of situations?
Yeah. I can't speak for all jobs in sports, and I look to you both as well as women who do different jobs in the world of in this industry. I think for what I do and in marketing, I think oftentimes we play a big like project manager role, to use like a boring corporate example, but like we're oftentimes working with communications and working with creative services and working with the teams and working with operations and facilities and like we are trying to kind of corral as many people as possible to have, whether it's a theme or whether it's like one goal, like those kind of things. We're trying to bring everybody together as best as we can, to kind of have that. I think I've done marketing, I've worked in marketing and fan experience, ticket sales in college athletics. And then I was a manager as well. And I think that that's a skill in anything that you do, is just running around a little bit and doing 100 different things at once. Definitely a skill that took a while to learn. I think like in terms of my growth in my career is like, prioritizing and finding those spots and finding those things that, okay, hey, I can work on this later. Like shout out to the Billies, have not thought about it yet. We're really deep in season.
That'll come soon.
That'll come soon. The Billies will come soon. We love, but yeah, so kind of just like working that balance and finding that. But I think, on a game day, there's a million different things that we're trying to run and manage. And so being able to say to someone like, hey, I'll handle that in a second, or talk to my grad assistant or talk to anybody else, here, go talk to this person or that person to try to find, just to try to get things done in that world.
Was there ever a moment in your career, like leading up, where you were like, oh, I could probably do this, and maybe there's like a little bit more to this than I like had initially thought? Because I'm with you in the like, you kind of do it just because you love it, right? And you want to be around it, and then you get a little older and you're like, oh wait, I can like, this can like sustain me. Like I can do, like there is that like weird moment where you're like, oh, I can actually like make this my career. But I'm curious for you, like if there was either a moment that stood out or like a conversation you had with someone that really made you know that you could like continue on this path.
I started my career in working in summer camping, and I think that was, you talk about all hands on deck just all the time. Like you have children's lives in your hand. And then I transitioned, I started working at UIC, and I was only there for a short time. I was there for about 18 months, and I've been at DePaul now for about 18 months. And so I'm still young and still early in my career. I think I'm starting to feel that way. I think I'm starting to feel a little bit more settled and starting to say like, okay, things are going all right. We're building something here at DePaul that I'm really proud of. And a large part of that is the team and the men's team success on the basketball front, but students are engaged, fans are starting to engage. We have media members kind of paying a little bit more attention and those kind of things. And so I think I'm starting to feel a little bit more settled in this career and in this world. Folks ask you all the time, I think often people are like, what's next? And you're like, can you just like chill out, please?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. And I love my job. I'm so fortunate to do the job that I do at DePaul, at my alma mater, with amazing people for an amazing program. And so there's parts of this where I'm just like, I love this and this is awesome. And I can see myself here and at DePaul for a long time and trying to build something that sustains the test of time in that world. So, yeah.
How do you feel like from, your high school, college days to now that the resources have changed for women in sports?
Yeah.
In any role, really.
Yeah. I was really fortunate. I think I grew up in a world, I talk about from a young age, knowing the Red Sox, loving that, loving sports, played sports growing up my entire life, like did it all. There's a great photo of me on the Christmas tree of like in a hockey uniform. Like I did it all. Like from a young age, we were doing everything. Baseball, barely did soccer. Don't put a soccer ball in front of me. But
I wasn't a big soccer fan either.
Yeah, no,
Your girl was the goalie.
Yeah. Okay,
I hated like getting hit in the stomach.
Yeah,
and, like,
I
taking the
also
wind.
just like if there's a ball coming towards my face, like you're telling me I can't use my hands, like no,
Goalie.
yeah, like,
That's
goalie.
why we went with goalie,
just
and I
think
didn't have to move much.
Yeah, like that, I'm fine, thank you. And so I played basketball growing up, travel basketball, all those kind of things, and so I grew up in a world where like I remember, and maybe I just was totally not paying attention to the guys around me, but like I played travel basketball. Like I don't remember my guy friends playing travel sport, like doing club basketball or doing those kind of things like growing up. And so that was from 5th grade on. We were in AAU basketball, me and my friends. And so I think when you talk about resources from a college athletics perspective, I see that a little bit more. I see the investment that DePaul Athletics has put, and I haven't been a part of a lot of those changes, but I've seen it from my time here in college to now. Our women's team playing at Wintrust is a massive opportunity for us to be able to fill that arena, and marketing and ticketing and our entire external team have a lot to do that and to fill that arena for that program. But that's room to grow. They're not in a place where we're selling out. Like, no, we have opportunities there to do better and our administration here gives us a lot of funding to do that, to have awesome giveaways and to do cool things for our men's and women's basketball programs. And so people always ask me, and from when I was in college, actually, Doug Bruno asked me this when he met me when I was in college. He was like, why do you work for the men's team? Like, why don't you work for the women's? I'm like, I didn't know the women were hiring. I was like, oh, like I would have loved to. I would have won a lot more basketball games in college if I worked for the women's team. But I was like, oh, this is the job that I have. And so, but yeah, I think DePaul's always been really kind of set a standard, especially with our men's and women's basketball programs, of some level of equality and great equality in that, and continuing to push that.
I think Doug was obviously we could do a whole TED Talk on Doug, right? But I was here I won't say when because I'm not going to give my age away. But when I was here, I'll never forget, like the women's basketball team was the first team I ever covered. And, I'm like, baby Jenna, I don't know what I'm doing. You go into these media rooms, like you're clearly the youngest one. And like, so you're just trying to like kind of not be in the way. I remember like the first few times I was doing it, I was like, just do what you need to do and just that's it. But I'll never forget there's something that Doug said at the end, and he said, and I think he says it at the end of each press conference, and I think you know what I'm going to say, and he says, thank you every single one of you for coming out and covering women's hoops. And I remember, like, it's such a small like sentiment, right? But it stuck with me forever in the sense of like the coverage gets exposed to more, and oftentimes I think, I always say like the year of Barbie, when we had like Barbie and Taylor Swift and all of this, like women, the reason why the economy was so great was because women were the driving ships of it, right? And a lot of times it's more of just, you need to give them the opportunity. And if you give them the opportunity, like not only will they meet your expectations, they will exceed them, And I really do think DePaul has always done that, specifically on the women's side, because when I was here, like, no offense to the men, love you guys, love you. But the women were the driving ships in every championship that we won at that time. And it didn't seem like it's the girls, we're not going to care about them. It was like, no, this is a championship team. It wasn't, it's a women's team. It's like, this is a championship team. So we're going to like go and get that. And I don't know, like, so my question for you is, and maybe Casey, you can answer this too. I have a really difficult time in this industry being like, using the woman card, because I don't like to.
Sure.
Because I often feel like if I'm going to use that as a crutch, it's not going to elevate me. and in the same breath, you want to celebrate the accomplishments that, of how far women have come. But I'm curious for you two, like, how do you both manage that or balance that?
Are you saying like managing the card of I am a woman, I should be doing this, or just
I'm a woman in sports, or like I don't know. I just remember it was actually Sarah Kustak, DePaul alumni basketball player, who said once like she doesn't like to talk about it because she's like I want you to hire me because I'm capable, not because I'm a woman.
There's a lot of female play-by-play now, like Kate Scott and Lisa Byington, who have like broken the ceiling into the NBA, and they're doing big national games and more than they probably ever thought they would do. And a lot of them have said like, I just want it to be about the best person for the job, not male versus female or whatever. And it shouldn't just be the first female all women's crew or whatever, the first female play-by-play. It should just be like,
this is a great play-by-play.
Yeah,
this is like an awesome crew. Yeah.
So I love being celebrated as a woman in the industry and, treated fairly, I also just kind of want it to be a level playing field for all of us.
I think that to break the third wall, but when I got sent my questions, sorry. But I think I really struggled. I think there's a question about being a female manager for a men's basketball program. And I haven't spoken about it a lot or at all. I don't think, Paul can probably make fun of me that I do talk about it a lot, but I don't really kind of talk about my time as a manager. And I think I loved it. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life and will continue on to be one of them. But I do give a lot of credit, and maybe too much credit, to, to Matt Fleming, who was the staff member in the program who hired me, and Jake, who was the head manager. Like, I applied for a job and I walked in and they did not bat an eye. They're like, and this woman is here. This freshman in college wants to be a manager. Like, let's do it. Like, okay. And, I wasn't the only female manager. There was another one on the team when I was there. And I think that I look back and it's like how I showed up every day in that room. Like, I probably didn't bring the same thing that a 6'3" men's, guy manager did. They are probably jumping into practice more, maybe a little bit more physical with the guys. But you bet your butt that I was rebounding and I was doing my best. Like, I did everything I could, and I showed up in different ways. And I think it prepared me in other ways. If they needed somebody to go talk to a parent or a spouse or somebody, or run out and buy flowers on Valentine's Day for their wives, I did do that. Like, great, I'm going, I'm doing it. Fabulous. I'm going to crush that job. Yeah. And it's that idea is like, I showed up, and hopefully, they didn't fire me. So hopefully, like, every day they saw value in who I was and saw value in having a woman and having me be a part of that program and be around that program. And I think it's like, I never tried to show up and be one of the guys. It was like, sure, okay, yeah, I can't go into the locker room when you're all changing post game, but I'll do something else and I'll be really good at it, and I'll do something, and I'll prove my worth and my experience in that. But I agree with you, Casey, in this idea that's like walking that line of like, yeah, I want an even playing field, and I want an even playing field, and I want to be able to just show up in a room and do great at my job. And so, yeah, I think I learned those lessons from being a manager, and learned those lessons like being in those environments in very male dominated when you're working for a men's basketball team.
As a woman in sports, how do you seek to empower other women and give opportunities for other women in this space? And how do you see that like continuing on as well?
Yeah, I think it's about showing up and being, every day we get to show up and do awesome, cool, fabulous jobs. And I think we already, we chatted about it a little bit, just about that visibility of women in sports. And I think doing things like this and being on a podcast and sharing our experiences. And, I don't know if I have the most unique or cool story, but it's a story that might resonate with someone. And hopefully that they see this, they hear this, and whether it's growing up in a small town and coming to a big city and wanting to work in sports and all of those things, like that builds a story and builds something that folks can see themselves in. And I think we're really fortunate at DePaul, but also from my days at UIC, I think being able to work with our student athletes is fabulous, but also so many student workers. I had clearly, I've spoken about it, my a great experience working for a program when I was here in college and being able to be around our fabulous student workers. I'm not just saying that because they're in the room, they know they're fabulous, but we give so much exposure to our student workers here at DePaul, whether it's they're running games with me, they're literally creating a podcast and managing and owning and doing whatever, they're writing press releases, they're doing so much. And so I think being able to help build that and help grow that and show young people, men or women really, just that you can do really, really cool things, and being able to get your foot in the door early in that college time. I think that that's really what it's all about.
Casey and I talk about this all the time, and I'm obviously biased because I'm a DePaul alumni, but there's something about DePaul students that are so unique from the rest. Like, obviously, our team is incredible. I'm so grateful to be on this team. The men are great, and it's predominantly women, you know, which is super cool. But there is something really unique, I think, about DePaul where you do feel like an adult in the workspace, even though you're still learning. Yeah. And I think because of that, there is that, like, you're going to fall. It's okay. We all fall. And, and I'm going to teach you, like, how you're going to get up and what that's going to look like. I'm not going to pick you up. You're going to pick yourself up. But I'm going to teach you what to do when you fall down. And that's okay. Did you have any mentors along the way that really encouraged you?
I have a fabulous mentor. I got really, really lucky. I grew up going to summer camp, and it's the same summer camp I ended up working at post-grad. And he is the camp director. He was the camp director there. He ended up switching to another summer camp. But for me, that was, I think, part of what really resonates with me. And that fact was, his name's Danny, Coach Danny. He was a coach. He was a high school basketball coach, coached, McDonald's All-Americans, really fabulous basketball coach. And so I think as a high school athlete, never more than that, but I really resonated with that kind of boss. I needed somebody who was going to hold me accountable, and that kind of coaching mentality kind of came through in how he was my boss at summer camp. And so, when I worked there full-time post-grad, and I still speak to him all the time, and he's he got plenty of phone calls when I was coming to work at DePaul. He still gets plenty of phone calls every single week, multiple times a week. And so I think what is really powerful about mentorship, and he would say the same thing, is that it's now gotten to a point where he used to call me his Gen Z mentor. I was born in 1997. We can discuss if that's Gen Z or not. I'm on the line. It's okay. But I think that for him, I was the youngest person he'd ever managed full time. Like, that's always going to continue to happen. And he says that I really brought him into, like, managing young people and managing this kind of, like, new age of us, maybe, infamously, they call us lazy, they call us all these fun things, whatever, this Gen Z, like, we're like tech savvy, like, whatever. But I think that
everybody hates.
Yeah,
I'm just used to the hate. Like,
everybody hates everybody. Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. But I think that that's, like, now we've gotten to the point where, like, I think that he would call me a mentor in the same way. I think that that's just friendship also. Like, I don't know, but he's fabulous. And I flew to Atlanta recently. He just got a puppy, a 6-week-old puppy. So I flew down to Atlanta for him to get the dog. And that was so much fun.
What do you feel like makes a good fan experience? And what are some of the activations and things that you guys have done here at DePaul that you're specifically proud of?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, please take our survey. If you come to a game, please take our survey. We do read the answers. But I say that because I know, and I think part of, like, being in this industry is we are never going to make everyone happy. We're going to try our best. And I hope one day my music is loud enough or not too loud or whatever it is, or I play the right music, or you love the band or you hate the band or you love the DJ or my in-game, like, just pick one. It's okay. But we get a lot of feedback about that experience. And we want to get better. And I think that that's something where we're really, I will say this a million times today, we're so fortunate when it comes to DePaul, the things that we're able to add. Like, I talk about our in-game experience, like, it is the best in the business. And I do think that we really rival our professional colleagues here in the city as well. We have fire, we have cryo, we have freaking parachutes that drop from the sky. Like, okay, come on. We have an amazing cheer and dance program, band, DJ, in-game host. From a men's basketball perspective, Gene Honda is our announcer. Like, come on.
Iconic.
Like, it's iconic.
Iconic.
Like, he's amazing. And so I think we're just so, like, everything that we could want, we have, and we're adding more. You know, the Winchester Arena is, I think, one of the best arenas in the Big East, and let alone college basketball. And so I think that like our in-venue videos and things like that, we're still trying to like level those up, and we're working with amazing vendors, and our team here does such a good job. And so I think what makes that kind of like fan experience, I think, I do think fans make the experience. That's what I will say. We can do, my team can do anything. We can try our best. We can get you guys as fans into it as possible. And there are nights when like I walk away from a game and I'm like, what did I do wrong? The fans just were not into it. And sometimes it's like we're up by 40 or we're down by 40. And like, that's not a fun game. I get that too. And we can't do everything. But I think it's really just trying to like build off of my team builds off of the arena's energy. Like fans are into it and they're chanting defense. We're going to put up the defense ribbons. Like if we come off of if the other team calls a timeout, like, and we call those hot timeouts, like lights are out, cryos on, like we're going. Sean, our in-game host, he's yelling on the mic. Like that's the kind of stuff, like we feed off of that arena's energy, and we can try to get the arena and the fans into it as much as possible. But at some point that's really just in the fans' hands. We're talking right now, right after we come off of our men's team home win against Marquette. And that was a really, really special night. That was months and months and months in the making, for the team's uniforms to the videos and the interactions that we had with Mark Aguirre, and getting him to come out. And then, we had our replica student jerseys. We had koozie jerseys for general fans. We had a season ticket holder gift, which is with players' pins, which I'm so thrilled that we got to work with. We had a ticket plus merch. Like there was just so much for that game. And like overwhelmingly, like I would get choked up thinking about it, like broke the student attendance record, which was held since the very first game in Winchester Arena. Wow. So that was like really, really crazy. And to throw all the way back to like, I was at that game as a manager. So to be able to see that record kind of broken, and see our students show up and get so into it, that was really like, that night is just so special to think about. And I think, I don't know, like I'm annoying and I tweeted about it, but like we're not done like that. We have 6 more home games right now. And we have crazy stuff happening at every single one. And that's what I want for our team. Like for, my program, my team here who supports the men's and women's basketball programs, is like, we want to do 100 things like we did at Throwback Night every single night. Like we want fans to be that engaged and that bought in, and those like there is something for everyone in all of those. And so we're going to try to keep raising our level in that way, and hopefully, fans see that, recognize that, and continue to show up for it. And so
do both basketball coaches like have a say in that, or like are they like big supporters of the activations and things, or are they kind of like removed from it in a way?
We talk about it with both coaches at the beginning of the season, and then it's a mark of a good season if we never talk to a head coach again. Like, bye, see you guys later. Like, I have done my job. If the ball goes in the air at the first game and like they don't hopefully have to interact with me again, then that's like from filming a video. Like, okay, I've messed up. I forgot about something. Like, we got to go talk to Coach Pizzotti and film a video, or we got to go talk to Coach Holtman and film something for in-venue. But they definitely have a say in kind of what goes on. I think for the biggest ones, or like, we know for our women's basketball program how much Play for K and the Maggie Dixon Classic mean to them. So games like that definitely, like, we see a lot more coaches' involvement in there.
And Coach Holtman's also involved, like wanting the fans to get to Winchester and giving away lunches and like just things that kind of make your job probably a little bit easier too.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, they get to pick and choose what they kind of buy in on. And the Coach Holtman lunch is hilarious and fabulous and so much fun. I will always attest I have his Amex card. It comes out of his pocket. Like it's his credit card. Like
it's true.
It's true. It's her. Like Nina's got the card. Me and the GM at Chick-fil-A, we're very close. Got him on speed dial. He'll text me like during the game, looks like we're going to win. You want the order? I'm like, all right, we got it. Yeah. Like, let's like wait till the final horn. I get nervous. Like,
a little superstitious.
Yeah. I'm super superstitious. But yeah, like that's kind of stuff. Like that's all Coach Holtman. Like that is his idea, his passion project, his credit card. Like he loves that. And, we talked about that Marquette win. Like one of our operations staff members was next to me when I got the call to come into the coaches conference room post game after Marquette, which like, that's not supposed to happen. I was like, okay, these people can't fire me, but I think I'm about to get fired. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. So I come running in, and Coach Holtman was like, all right, so I want to buy beer. Where are we going? And I was like, you want to do what?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, like I want to buy beer for the students. That was insane. Like, let's go. And I was like, okay. And so fully my fault. Kelly's was closed. Take full responsibility. I said, let's go to Kelly's. And Kelly's was closed for a private party for the first time in 10 years on a Friday. It's fine, Kelly's. We love you. What are the odds? Literally. Yeah. So just was like really electric. We ended up had a big group at Home Slice, had an even larger group at Hook and Ladder, and just was like a fabulous night. But like, that's all him. Like he was like, wait, we have to take a camera. I was like, we have to take a camera. Like he didn't want any of that, that kind of like, he is like in both, like, yeah, he's so bought into that kind of stuff and building that. And now I think is, he's been asked about it 110 times. He's like, oh, well, this was an accident. He was like, I don't think he likes that, but I'm like, all right, well now you're like you're a man of the people. This is like the coolest thing ever. So we're loving it.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes.
Like,
and we are,
it's really that simple, you know, like just, if you build it, they will come.
And I think both coaches are really aware of that as well. It's like they know they have to win. Yeah. They know that. And I think, they work so hard to do that. And then everything that marketing does is just the cherry on top to really try to build and emphasize that.
To kind of draw parallels, obviously we just had probably one of the most historic runs that the Bears have ever had since, like 85. I mean, obviously they went to the Super Bowl. I think it was 2006. But like, that's kind of how I feel about that team. But I will say, like, and I was telling Casey about this. I'm in the hospitality industry. My family owns a bar. Like, I know in the month of January I'm making no money because people do dry January. Everyone spent their money during the holidays. No one wants to go out. Everyone's staying in and recouping. That team was so good for the economy and so good for the fans.
Yeah.
And it really is like when the product's good, like the rest comes and like your job is easy in like the best way possible. But then it's like you're also like, I can do these things that like I've always wanted to do. Yeah. But now you kind of have that like you have the people, with the torches in like the best way.
It's a bit of like a chicken and egg situation. Sometimes it's like, okay, do I get to do these things because the team's winning, or do I do them anyway and then the team will win? Yeah. Because full believer of what, Coach Holtman and Coach Pizzotti are building here and Dwayne and Taylor are building. And so it's like, I know, success is coming for our fans and success is coming for these programs. And now it's like, all right, do we start building traditions now? Like where do you walk that line of those kind of things? And we've started in some ways, we've done 2 years back to back now with student replica jerseys. I'm hoping that becomes a tradition. So if the team could keep giving me awesome jerseys to replicate, we would love. So things like that, like we'll continue to try to find those things. But no, I think that this city and Chicago, I was in college when the Cubs won in 2016. This city is better when our teams are having fun and our teams are better. Like, and there is nothing as beautiful as Chicago when they can rally around their teams. Again, I can talk about that Marquette came till the freaking cows come home. But like we had the gentleman who went live or who went viral, for grating cheese at the Bears game, Brandon. And like that's the kind of cool stuff we want to be able to do. And that's the kind of stuff where it's like, all right, like, and our fans loved it. Some did not. We read the surveys. We know it's okay. It wasn't. It's okay. It's like, oh, it's not a Bears game. I'm like, I get it, but the Bears are doing great. Like, I want to, like, we're gonna work with that and have fun with that.
I think there's something too to be said about the other teams in the city, whether it's pro or college, supporting each other. Yeah. Whether it be on social media or in person.
Yeah. And I think we see that. And I think, across the country, we've seen a really good job of, a lot of teams doing that. I just saw on Twitter, like what the Colts posted for the Indiana, national championship and things like that. It's like, yeah. And we want DePaul to be a part of that conversation. Right now, we're coming off of when we're filming this, PCA and Caleb Williams were just bouncing around to all of their lovely places all over. I don't have any connects. It's not going to happen. But I was like, oh my God, my dream is like, how do we get them courtside?
Caleb?
And like, Anybody?
Pete?
Hello? Yeah. It's like,
You know what to do.
we have a guy?
Do we have a
might have a
guy?
guy.
We
We
might know a
I might
guy.
have some guy.
Fabulous. So like, but it's one of those things where it's like, I hope that in the future, like when God willing, where the Bears are playing longer than just, the last 2 rounds. But it's like, no, like I want DePaul to be a stop on that tour that they're going. It's not just, Blackhawks and Bulls. It's also, of course, we're going to go to the DePaul game. Yeah. So I think it's building that kind of culture and building that fandom and building that fun at Wintrust as well. So, we're coming. We're building.
I love that. A couple more quick questions for you. As you look forward to the World Cup, I know you said you weren't into playing soccer, but then there's also the Olympics, right? The Summer Olympics coming up in the United States in LA in 2028. Is there anything that you're looking forward to seeing or anything you want to attend? Or is that a big part of something that you'd want to be at?
I have no plans to attend. I keep getting the targeted ads about tickets being available for put in your request for tickets for the LA Olympics. So they've got me targeted. But I don't have any plans to attend anything right now. And I'm definitely upset that the World Cup is not in Chicago, but I don't think we have, as somebody who has, when I was at UIC, worked with Chelsea FC when they came through, we just really don't have the natural grass to do it here in Chicago, but we'll talk about that offline. But yeah, definitely upset that there's not a lot happening here in Chicago, just because we talked about, Chicago is a fabulous sports town. But I think I love all of the content that comes out of it. I don't have a lot to do with our content here, and our social teams are fabulous, but the folks who do the content from the Olympics to the world, that is really just where folks thrive, and I'm really, really excited to see that. I think from a storytelling aspect, the things that you can do and cover in that is just fabulous. And I'm excited also to see what they do and see how towns, not the towns, how cities handle and what they're able to do. I know we were talking, you mentioned Taylor Swift briefly, but I think that you saw when Taylor Swift or major artists come through town, they were eras touring their cities. And I think that that's okay, what can we do now from this viral aspect of things to what can we do? How can we take advantage of this massive thing that's happening in our city from an economic standpoint, all those kind of things. So just excited. It's a lot happening in North America in the next, few years. So it'll be interesting to see and just kind of watch and observe. So
it's a great time to be a sports fan.
Oh, fabulous.
And even I think more so for women, and you were talking about the social stuff. I obviously love social media and I love making content and connecting with people. And I think women kind of dominate that space more than men do. And I think because of that, the women's side is growing because we're starting to see more women as personalities and who they are off the court or off the field or whatever that looks like. And I just can't wait. I'm just so excited. Yeah. It makes me geek out. So I'm curious, do you ever geek out over these big sporting events and promotional stuff?
Yeah, I geek out for sure. Yeah. I definitely, I'm trying to think of the last, we're doing some stuff with it all gets sent to me. Everything on the internet gets sent to me all the time.
Let's try this. Let's do this.
I can't believe I'm going to bring this up naturally.
I love this.
All the stuff with heated rivalry right now.
Oh, you found the right girl here.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't believe I'm bringing this up. Everybody can roll their eyes.
5 happened.
But I think that from a viral aspect, I think, it's a massive conversation that the NHL, who has not necessarily been so queer friendly, is now kind of trying to accept this massively queer show. And so I think it's really fabulous and awkward and fun and crazy to see these actors out at NHL games and how they're doing this. And I'm going to forget exactly what team. One team just had their Pride night and I think did a really fabulous job. They sold Hollander and Rosenoff jerseys and the proceeds went to I think it might have been Orlando. I don't know. I'm going to mess that up. And went to a local Pride organization. It's okay, great. And I think that there are ways to do that. So that right now from a viral sports has been fabulous. I think, I love it. I love it all. I said this, I have the best job in the world and I have so much fun with it and just trying to kind of find ways to bring that to DePaul as much as possible. I got really into Formula One over the last few years. And I think, you talk about female creators. They've done a fabulous job really opening up to creators.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, it comes from Drive to Survive and things like that. And so, I think they've really taken in, not advantage is not the right word I want to use, but opened their arms and been like, yes, like they've said yes to a lot. I think, Formula One in fashion, I think fashion in sports is a massive thing as well. And they've done a fabulous job with a lot of their drivers and things like that. So I think that there's lots to see there. So
this, anytime you can find, I have found the like sports pop culture crossover moment is when you win, because we're obviously sports geeks. Like it's very obvious to see. Majority of the people in my life are not. So I'm like, how can I make it easy for you to understand where you feel like you'll enjoy it? Hence heated rivalry. Talking about fashion, and whether it's, the guys or the women walking in, and it's like, oh my God, I love Caitlin Clark's fit, or like whatever those little things that like you still get to be a part of the conversation, but you don't need to know the like analytical breakdown of everything. I think always helps.
I think that that's something from the college athletics landscape that can definitely kind of grow and build, is this like humanization of our student athletes. And I think that we don't see a lot of, and maybe I think some schools are doing a better job than others of building that, and kind of, especially in the day and age of NIL, where you might not have 4 years to get to know these student athletes anymore. You might have 9 months. And to make a fan fall in love with them and make a fan feel bought in. And so I think that that's something where that kind of continuing to grow that humanization of our student athletes and who they are as people, and whether it's fashion or outside interests, or they make music, or who are they? And just like, it's not just what happens on the court or the field or anywhere. It's like, all right, who are these people? And that from a marketing perspective, I think we can always kind of grow and expand on. So
last question for you, Nina. Who is your favorite athlete and why?
This is actually like the hardest question I think I have. This is a really hard one.
I was thinking about who I'd pick. I don't know.
I honestly, I don't think I have a favorite athlete. I think I'm team specific, but I'm also not. Like I freaking love college sports. Like I love college sports. I just love sports in general. I mentioned, I grew up in New England. Pats are hopefully still playing by the time this airs. Pats are playing this weekend. So but you bet your butt I was out cheering for the Bears. Like I want people to have fun. I support a bandwagon fan. Please, more DePaul bandwagon fans, come on in. We would love to have you. Like, come on. I love my fair weather, but we definitely want more. Like, I just think it's like, it's about the community. It's about the people that you're going to the games with and the things that you're doing. Like, I want to see a good game and I want to see a great competition. I will say, like, I have become more of a fan of the NBA because, I was on the team with Max and Paul when I was in college. That's been really fun to follow their careers. I'm embracing football a little bit more begrudgingly. I love baseball. Like it's been fabulous. But I think at the end of the day, it's always going to be college basketball for me. And it's been fabulous. And I don't know if I could pick a favorite player.
March is coming, which is the most exciting part.
I know.
March is coming. We're so excited. So, but yeah.
Nina, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. We love your shoes. We love your energy. Just having you here, I feel like you and Jenna could talk more heated rivalry after the show.
It's going to follow me around forever. Can't wait.
No, it's good. But we are excited to continue to follow your journey here at DePaul. Yeah. Thank you for all that you do for DePaul and for women in sports. And we appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. For Nina Goodhue, for Jenna Duddleston, I'm Casey Standahar. We'll see you next time on the Blue Demon Room podcast.